No long story with the intro. Y'all, I haven't set it up to where Sound Alert has separate audio when that thing has a 15-minute cooldown. Yes, the 3D model is here. Very long story with the intro. No, not really.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets.
Alright, everything should be working fine in theory. Also, we have the redeem for the Borb, so ponder it. Ponder the Borb. It's now on my head.
Take that, depression!
Yes, take that, depression. Alright. Welcome, everyone, to, probably the only time I might be able to get to, read out a Reddit saga. If this is your first time here on the channel, my name is Dragon. You didn't jump scare me that time. I was mentally prepared, Sam. I knew it was coming. Now you gotta wait 15 minutes. Anyways, if this is your first time here on the channel, my name is Dragon. I'm a Dragon Girl VTuber with a foul mouth, and, well... You ever watch something you ever watch someone's life just implode? And all of it starting off because of one tiny thing, or at least one thing that, compared to the rest of what happened, was small? You ever watch that shit go down? Cause, it's interesting. It's interesting when it happens. Jade, I am so sorry. But this is a case where you watch it happen to a terrible person. This is, granted, yes, an older Reddit saga. It came about before everyone realized they could farm the good internet points from extreme Reddit stories, or, the snowball effect. So that's one of the guarantees we know that this is an actual story. These are actual people involved in it. Hello, Ghost. I went to Laser Zone with my dad and sister. My mom took us and waiting for us. The drink coffee came first in the scoreboard. Ah, awesome. Hello, Ghost. Yep, there's a cat in here. It's Ghost. He's singing. I don't know what else he planned on doing today. But anyways, I've got like 3 tabs here because that's how long this shit is. That Best of Redditor updates had to separate it into multiple posts. It's not a Ghosty collab. It just Ghost being Ghost. Yes, baby, I hear you. Alright. But let's start off with OP asks, am I the asshole if he's the asshole for selling his PS5 rather than sharing it with his stepbrothers? Remember, this is Best of Redditor Updates. This was not posted by the original posters. It is very cute, Jade. Thank you for making it. Right, so the actual original post that caused all this shit to snowball. Yes, I'm right here. I'm reading something out, baby. You just singing the song of your people? Alright. He's just singing the song of his people right now. So, am I the asshole for selling my PS5 rather than sharing it with my stepbrothers? My, 15M, mom and dad met briefly and dated while they were both studying at uni. My mom gave birth to me after they had broken up and had to sue my dad for child support. I was raised by my mom and had virtually nothing to do with my dad throughout my childhood. My mom was an international student and her family cut ties with her due to the circumstances of my birth. Tragically, 2 years ago, I lost my mom to cancer, and thus I was placed under the care of my dad. My dad has remarried and has 2 sons, 5 and 7, with his wife. It wasn't a bad arrangement at first, but we were all essentially strangers. Nope, hi Ghost. I was given a bedroom to myself, and we shared some meals, but other than that, kept to myself. Ghost, we haven't even gotten to that part yet. About 10 months ago, I was lucky enough to score a casual job at an aged care facility as IT support. It was stupid easy money as it involves installing and maintaining a dozen or so common PCs used by the residents, plus running basic computing workshops. I ended up accruing a whole lot of disposable income in a short time. Stupidly, instead of just keeping quiet about it, I decked out my room with a new TV, headphones, and a PS5. Obviously, the setup was of great interest to my 2 stepbrothers. Initially, my rule was that they could play the PS5 anytime I wasn't using it, but I would get first dibs if I wanted to play or use my TV. Alright, good night, Sam! I was also super accommodating by buying an extra controller, which I didn't need, and several kid-friendly games that they wanted to play. I eventually had to change the rule to only play when I was there because the 5-year-old destroyed one of my controllers through spilling juice on it. This is where the drama started. They went to my parents, who then ordered me to place the PS5 in the living room. I refused, stating that I had purchased it with my own money. This led to their argument that I have too much money and should contribute rent, utilities, and food money. I called their bluff and said, sure, drop a contract and I'll get a lawyer to review it to ensure it complies with the Family Law Act. My dad then told the boys that he was going to buy a separate PS5 for the boys for Christmas, but the dude is clueless about the global shortage. That's right, that's around when this took place, when it was damn near impossible to get a hold of a PlayStation 5. Poor console bastards. Us PC players don't gotta worry about that shit. Finally, last night, after realizing that he had 0 chance of buying one for close to RRP, my dad threatened me to either voluntarily gift my PS5 to the boys for Christmas, or he would toss it in the bin while I was at school. I was so pissed that I went on Facebook Marketplace and sold the PS5. Yes, Ghost! We're feeling mouthy. We are feeling mouthy today. Here, you get a pet. You get a pet. The boys found out today and were devastated. I feel really bad because they shouldn't be punished for this shit show. I wasn't affected by a graphic card shortage. I'm currently being affected by apparently that with this current type of graphics card, you play Russian roulette on whether or not it works properly. And I lost. The boys found out today and were devastated. I feel really bad because they shouldn't be punished for this shit show. My parents are in the room talking about me and I'm sitting here in my room. Am I the asshole? How could I have handled this better? Now, this post was just a teenager in a not so great situation who was, found a way to sort of, improve quality of life a bit with a job that was, giving them the opportunity to be able to, splurge a little and, get themselves something nice. And hey, originally was sharing with his stepbrothers. It wasn't until, a controller got broken because shit happens sometimes with little kids. I can attest to that. That he had to implement a new rule of, hey, you guys can only play when I'm home, just so that way he could, most likely so that way he could keep an eye on and make sure, the juice spilling incident doesn't happen again. Reasonable, understandable. It's why Reddit, in the original post, deemed him not the asshole. And also pointed out that, hey, what the fuck is wrong with your stepdad? What the fuck's wrong with your dad and stepmom? Could selling the PS5 be a bit of an overreaction? Yes, but also this is a teenager. Overreactions sometimes come with the territory. Hi, Ghost. Yes, you're on my lap now. You're being held. You're being petted. Because I refreshed the sound alerts. Hi, Shadow. You missed the first part of this saga. Ah, baby. Yes, I've got you, Ghosty. Again, it's just this, again, Reddit Dean, this poor kid, not the asshole, because, holy fuck, you are already being reasonable and technically already sharing that PlayStation 5. Kid did not need to, buy the extra stuff so his younger stepbrothers could play on there with him. Kid could have just told him no. Instead, he went, yeah, you know what, I'll be a good big brother. I'll buy the kid-friendly games and extra controllers so that way, they can play too. And it wasn't until juice spilled that he did put in extra boundaries, like, okay, so to keep you guys from, yeah. Kid bought the PS5 with his own money. He was already putting in stuff so that way he could share the PS5 with his younger brothers. Hi, Exakit. Yeah, exactly. Exactly like with your cousins. He accommodated the kids, but it was still his PS5, and he didn't put in that extra rule until something happened to one of the controllers. Understandable.
Ja men, Mandy men.
Wow.
Ja men, Mandy men.
Wow.
Ja men, Mandy men.
Oh, wow.
Ja men, Mandy, men.
Yeah, so with this kid, they deemed him not the asshole. Now, what happened with the update? Wow, this blew up overnight. Firstly, thanks to all the kind strangers out there giving me your positive encouragement and support. It's quite humbling that so many of you took the time to read my story and chose to provide positive support. Some people were after an update in the situation. I'm at work now, but my stepmom had a chat with me this morning and it was quite positive. She said she didn't know about my existence until right before I came to live with them. And so it caused a huge rift between her and Dad. She apologized for projecting that onto me and not being more welcoming. Yes, Ghost is here meowing and singing the song of his people. He's in a mood today. She also didn't know about my dad's threats and told me that it won't happen on her watch. My half-brothers also admitted to her about the juice incident. She said that she is going to get the boys a Switch for Christmas and that she offered to pay me the difference between RRP and getting a new PS5. I probably won't take the money, but at least it's a step forward. This was the longest conversation I've ever had with her, too, by the way. Yes, Ghost is, but did you hear that one part? I know Ghost did, apparently, even though he has lost his hearing. She said she didn't know about my existence until right before I came to live with them. This is his stepmother. She did not know her husband had another child until after his mother died, and he had to move in with them or go into the foster system. I want y'all to sit on that for a moment. Absorb that little bit of information. I mean, the father knew because in the first post, it was mentioned that the late mother had to sue him for child support. So he already knew he had a son. He already knew he had a teenage son long before. So, I'm gonna give y'all a moment to process that. Yes, Ghost. Yes. Really? Why do we hate your oh, it's Char. Yeah, Char, you got so many alts, I swear. Because my wings are attached to my body and I need them. I am quite literally attached to these wings. Still your main account? I can't keep track. Ghost, where'd you learn that one? No comms from my dad yet. Low. To answer some common questions, hence y'all have to probably hopefully taken that moment to process something. 1. My bank account is entirely in my name, Australia. No one else has the ability to view or access the balance. I actually don't think my dad's demand for rent was about money. They both earn a good salary. He's just butthurt that I'm not reliant on his money. Yes, he does, because he just did speak to me with that mouth. 2. Yes, I really am 15. I typed out my post-in Word and so that it could be spell and grammar checked. Maybe that's what confused people? 3. I get Australian dollars $27.50 an hour on a casual contract with additional loading for weekends and plus PH8s. The operations manager at the aged care facilities is super chill and allows me to schedule my hours around school. I just have a cap that I can't go over. Yes, Ghost. Here, you get a scritchy. She lets me do my homework on the clock and I get free meals from cafeteria. If I help the residents on non-facility devices, they usually tip me in cash or sometimes cookies. God damn, I would love to be tipped in cookies sometimes. I've got a fair bit saved up because I don't really have any expenses. 4. I've got a shoebox of documents from when my mom passed. I think my mom's assets is being looked over by a trustee firm, which will eventually be turned over to me at 18. The law firm managing the will had previously explained this to me, but I wasn't really paying attention at the time. I've still got to go through everything. 5. I sold my PS5 for a tidy profit, even with the cost of the damaged controller. I'm not desperate for one at the moment, so I'll just sign up for a waiting list again so I don't need to take my stepmom's offer. Please do not take my wings, I need them. This is probably my last post on this issue. Thanks again for the love, everyone. It was not this poor kid's last post on this issue. It was not this poor child's last post on this issue. And we haven't even started the avalanche that was spawned by the snowball of this PS5 getting sold. Though you'll probably see a hint of it with that comment of stepmom not knowing this kid existed until he had to live with them. Okay, come here, you. Come here. Come here. You wanna be loud? You wanna be a loudmouth? You want attention? Well, you got mommy's attention now. You got mommy's attention. Now you're being held. Can mommy get through this stream? We're not even halfway through, baby. We're not even halfway through. Can mommy do this? You just lay right here. You just chill out right here, okay? Do what feels comfy. Just stay right here. Yep, Ghost, you got uppies. Update 2, the 19th of December. So we've got a gathering with the extended family today. This is the first time I met any of them due to COVID, and they've all been super lovely to me. My stepmom showed them my original post, and they are all getting stuck into Dad. My uncle, Dad's younger brother, has set up a Reddit account for him, and he's doubling down as he thinks Redditors will take his side when they read his account of it. I'm not going to link or read his post, but people have been telling me it's quite a bloodbath. And the father did make his own post. Y'all ready for this? Am I the asshole for asking my son to share his console with his brothers instead of keeping it in his room? A few days ago, my bio son Jonah, not real name, posted a biased and frankly defamatory post about an incident in my home regarding a PS5. My wife was kind enough to share the post and comments with our entire extended family at our Christmas gathering, so apparently now I'm a huge asshole. My brother suggests that I post here to set the record straight and give people both sides of the issue. Ghost, we don't need to start cussing this man out yet. We haven't dug that deep yet. Firstly, I never actually intended to charge Jonah rent. His job gives him essentially 100% disposable income purely because he lives in our household. He used his money to deck out his room, buy brand shoes, buy the latest iPhone, etc., all for himself. I couldn't care less about how he spends his money, but it does set a poor example for my other two boys. The last straw was when Jonah set a login password for the PS5. I basically told him that he's not willing to share, then why should I give him a free ride? Sir, you made the child. You made the child. You took the child into your home instead of sending him into foster care. You're doing the bare minimum by letting your minor child live in your house, rent-free. You are doing the bare fucking minimum. Do you want a fucking cookie? Do you want a fucking cookie? Is that what you want, man? Doing the bare goddamn minimum. My son should be grateful while we share DNA. I'm not Hatsune Miku. My son should be grateful while we share DNA. I only dated his mom. May, not actual name, for all of 5 months back in uni. I was very clear with May that I didn't want kids, but apparently consent doesn't go both ways. May put me through legal hell and ended up costing me tens of thousands of dollars over the years of child support, setting my own goals back. Sir, you had unprotected sex with a woman. One of the potential consequences of unprotected sex is pregnancy. When you have consensual, unprotected sex, you acknowledge the risk of child. Consent doesn't go both ways. The kid doesn't just disappear just because the dad says, well, I don't want to be a dad. The kid doesn't just suddenly get reabsorbed as nutrients. That's not how that works, my good sir. May put me through legal hell and ended up costing me tens of thousands of dollars over the years of child support, setting my own goals back. Yeah, the kid doesn't go, but dad does. Remember, in the first post, the kid, who is apparently now named Jonah, his mother had to sue this man for child support. He had to be sued for it. Oh, apparently Char's gotten into the Discord server. Yeah, Phoenix, that's essentially what this guy went and did. That is essentially what this man went and did. Instead of letting Jonah end up in a group home, I stepped up and took him in when May got sick. Instead of gratitude, I constantly had to deal with disrespect and attitude. The kid just lost his mother. Cut him a little bit of slack. Hi, Ruby! We're watching a man's life implode because of a PlayStation 5! Because of Jonah, my wife thinks I breached her trust all for something that happened well before I met her. I would like to keep in mind, I would like y'all to remember, with that one right there, he did not tell his wife he had another child until his mother died, and the kid either had to go with him or go into foster care. Yeah, because of an oversized white binder. Oh, and it is glorious when the karma hits this man. It's fucking beautiful. Now again, I'm even gonna highlight it here. This part right here. because of Jonah, my wife thinks I breached her trust all for something that happened well before I met her. She didn't know this kid existed until he had to come live with them. She had no idea her husband had any other children. No idea. Until suddenly sprung on her, hey honey, so turns out about 15, 16 years ago, I slept with a girl and became an absolute deadbeat dad. Well, now the woman's died, and now I have to take care of the son or put him in foster care. He's coming to live with us. You're gonna be okay with this, right? Gonna give y'all a moment to process that, see if I get responses. Use that opportunity to take a drink. Ghost, we still haven't dug that up yet. It gets worse. This man gets worse. I too love when narcissists get fucking curb stomped. Yep, there's Ruby, yep. We all love it when a narcissist gets a nice big old dose of reality. And when it comes in the form of some karma, it's even better. Right. Continuing on. Well, the boys previously did have access to the PS5. He won't let them play it now that school is finished for the year unless he's home, which he never is. I gave him the ultimatum of either sharing... Pure satisfaction. Better than restoration videos. I gave him the ultimatum of either sharing the console or no one gets to play it. In response, he pulls the most passive-aggressive move ever and sold it, so now no one plays it. The kid was already sharing it, set a boundary with his younger siblings after a controller got destroyed. And I have a feeling that it's not a case of the kid's never home, it's that this father's never bothering to pay attention to see if the kid is actually home. This is the man who had to be sued for child support. I have a feeling he's not the most attentive father. And is it really a passive-aggressive move for selling something that he spent his own money on? No, I think not. So listen, how am I the asshole here? I've taken this kid into my home. A kid who, by the way, will receive a sizable inheritance in a few years thanks to May's estate. I think he would prefer to have his mother. I've given him a home, a family, and fund his lifestyle, all at the cost of my own relationship. Again, do you want a cookie for doing the fucking bare minimum? You made the kid. And you also lied to your wife by omission by never telling her you never had another kid. Before getting with her. In return, I haven't asked for a cent, and he won't treat me with respect nor follow my rules. He gave me your pulse, you better respect him. But somehow I'm the giant asshole who's in the study typing this out instead of enjoying Christmas with my extended family. Instead of attacking me, I'm hoping people will now give their fair opinion of the situation based on seeing both sides of the story. My dear siblings and cringe, my beloved kobolds, how do you think Reddit reacted to this? Right, Phoenix, you inform your partner of your history if you have, if you happen to have kids from previous relationships and things like that. That's the moment you plan on getting serious with them, you tell them, hey, I've got kids. I've got a kid from a previous relationship. God, I want to be the fly in the room. What's their reactions? But I want y'all to imagine how Reddit reacted to this. As you can imagine, Reddit tore him a fucking new one. I remember seeing that shit. Reddit ripped him apart. And instead of taking this moment to reflect, to stop and think, oh shit, I fucked up. This is how people see me. Instead of taking that moment to stop and think. This is what he did. Okay, clearly this hasn't gone down the direction I thought it would. Clearly some of you have issues with comprehension or just can't be bothered reading my comments fully. Yep, he doubled down! I want to be clear, I never threatened to collect rent from Jonah. I don't need his part-time work money or about his inheritance money. Yeah, he can't be a problem, no! I make a very good salary, and probably more than the vast majority of people who use Reddit. I don't know, there's a lot of really fucking people, there's a lot of people with really fucking high-paying jobs on here, surprisingly. I simply tried to explain to him that he has all this disposable income because he doesn't have to worry about basic needs. No, your son in the first post, his son in the first post made it clear that, he sat him down and said that maybe he should start paying utilities, called this man's bluff and said, alright, make a contract and I'll have a lawyer, and we can get a lawyer to look over it to make sure it's legal. I didn't explain it properly at the time because we were arguing, but my intention wasn't for Jonah to give his PS5 to the kids permanently. I just wanted to keep it in the common area until I could buy another one for the kids. Jonah never told me about the controller. If he had, of course I would have replaced it. It's not an issue. Again, I have a feeling, because of past experience with people like this, Jonah did tell him, but he just didn't bother to fucking listen. I expected him not to be so selfish to his brothers. Keeping it in his room under password protection is so rude. Jonah gets home really late most days, so my kids are in bed by the time he gets back. I don't debate the nuances about sex and custody. I'm not an idiot. I understand fucking doubt that one. I understand perfect consent and parental responsibilities. I will just say that there's a large gap between consenting to sex versus consenting to have a child. I get that our current laws are against me on this one.
Awful parents getting destroyed mentally and still not realizing their mistake.
Yep. And I would like to once again point out, my good sir, my good person who is doubling down when he shouldn't be. Just because the dad suddenly decides he doesn't want a kid, or whoever it was, that decided to stick their dick into somebody with the right bits, unprotected, suddenly decides they don't want a parent, the child doesn't get absorbed into the room and reabsorbed as nutrients. That's not how it works. That has never been how it works. I didn't intend to lie to my wife. Jonah and May were something but way to the distant past for me. Our settlement agreement was very clear on that. I had absolutely zero communication with May or Jonah for at least the 10 years prior to finding out about her illness. My child support was at a fixed rate, so I had actually paid her out a lump sum that was supposed to take care of him until 18. It wasn't like it was getting taken out of my pay every week. Sir, I am pretty sure your wife would have liked to know if you had children beforehand. Before she became your wife. I know me personally. That is information I would love to have. Exactly. That's what he's comparing this child, who, by the way, once again, has just lost his mother, is now living with a dad who is making it clear he doesn't want him. And has never wanted him in the first place. He's talking about it. He's not talking about, like, a flea you found on, like, a dog, in like, a dog's coat or something. He's talking about his child. As far as I knew, I was never supposed to hear from Jonah. Oh, whoop. Didn't mean to hover over that. As far as I knew, I was never supposed to hear from Jonah or May ever again. Why would I tell my wife something like that? Because it would be information she would like to have. I'm pretty sure anyone who gets into a relationship with anybody would like to know if they had kids with previous partners. I'm pretty sure that's information anyone would love to have while they're getting serious with someone. Just in case situations like this pop up, where the other parent is suddenly either unable to care for the kid anymore or passes away, and the kid needs a new place to stay. Instead of it just being dumped on them. I have an ex and a kid. Oh, thank you for telling me. I have kids too. See, simple as that. It's not the end of the world. It's like, oh, hey, simple as that. Just letting you make sure you know, hey, this is what happened. Yeah, it is not hard at all to have that conversation. Yeah, it also lets them know they're not the first serious partner. It also gives them a heads up ahead of time, just in case a situation like this happens to where the other parent passes away and the kid needs a place to stay. It doesn't have that shit come out of nowhere. It's like a case of like, okay, yeah, kid needs a place to stay now. Alright, I already knew this kid existed, so so part of me was already mentally prepared for this possibility happening. And it also points out that if you're the deadbeat parent type of person, it also lets them get an idea of, hey, if we have kids, is he gonna bail on me too? That sort of thing. It is an important conversation to have if you're getting serious with someone. If you have this type of stuff going on. You'd think it would be common fucking sense. I am sorry, Char, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink before I continue. Yep, welcome back. Yes, Jonah's a new addition to our family. Yes, I get all of this isn't his fault. I don't love him yet, and to be fair, he hasn't made it easy. So, you're talking about a 15-year-old kid? I will try to. This shit takes time. Y'all act like it's easy. Yeah, I don't love him yet, sir. Sir! Don't worry, we're gonna watch this bastard's life implode. Don't you worry. Despite saying the last update would be final, OP has made another, as the very original poster, the Sun, made another update comment. We're hearing from the Sun again, folks! Sorry, I know I said my previous update post was the final one. I think I just have to do one more to close everything off. There's a lot of emotions running through me right now, so I'm sorry for rambling a bit. Firstly, I'm immensely grateful to all the Redditors who reached out to me to voice your support and make sure that I'm okay. I'm very touched. Secondly, I got to meet and spend time with my extended family today. There are over 40 of them here. They're a rowdy bunch, but they're amazing. They really made me feel welcome. Some of my cousins are gamers too, so there was an instant connection. In terms of family, it's been mostly Mum and I for my whole life, so this is definitely new to me. True, yes, you still make yeah, true. True, Phoenix, true. You still make sure that the kid is fed, clothed, has shelter, is taken care of, and is fine. That in and of itself is a form of love. But if this is how this man talks about his oldest son, I hate to hear how he talks about his wife and his youngest kids. Which we might hear about at least how he talks about his wife. I have 3 cents. You want 3 cents? I got 3 cents. In terms of family, it's been mostly Mum and I for my whole life, so this is definitely new to me. But my new family were 100% accommodating and were very interested in me. Thirdly, my stepmom turned out to be a champ. One of the first things she did was introduce me and show everyone my Reddit post. It turned into a massive debate where nearly the whole family laid into Dad, including my grandparents. Gotta love it when the family is going, yeah, no, dude, these guys online are right. At one stage, my uncle, another Redditor, pulled me aside and told me that, don't worry, mate, your dad has always been a bit of a stubborn, well, am I allowed to say this on Twitch? I don't know. Oh well. He'll get over it. I know it's okay in Australia. I know it's like common in Australia. Over here in the Americas, no. And also Twitch tends to be kind of finicky on certain things. Yeah, well. Another amazing thing was when my nan said she knew my mom quite well and we had a great chat about her. I think we broke Dad in the process. I can't do an Australian accent, and plus, I'm not really doing accents at the moment. Someone mowed the lawn this morning. Pollen got kicked up. If I do an accent, I am going to tear apart my throat. My dad got very loud arguing with the family. My uncle somehow trolled my dad into posting on Reddit to tell his side. He's been on his laptop in his study since then for nearly the whole night, glued to the screen. He didn't even come out for dinner. The uncle knew what he was doing. Uncle knew what he was doing. I don't know how this will end, but all I know is that I feel so much better. Whatever happens with Dad, at least I have some amazing family members, swapped some gamer tags with my cousins, and I've reached some common ground with my stepmom. I think all this started with a single Reddit post. Land down under. I lack the words to describe how grateful I am. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your love. I hope everyone out there can be as lucky as me and spend the holidays with their loved ones. Sending you peace, love, and good vibes wherever you are. This kid's a good kid. This is a fucking amazing kid. Wherever this kid is right now, I hope he's doing amazing. Anyways, updates from now on mainly from the dad. Huh. Another Teto cover. Nice. Add it to the collection. Am I the asshole intercepting and eating my son's food delivery while he was grounded? Posted on January 13th, 2022. My eldest son, 16, is undergoing a hormonal-fueled rebellious phase. His behavior consists of things like rolling his eyes when I talk, back-chatting when I tell him to do something, overemphasizing, putting on his headphones when I enter the room, and a whole laundry list of other passive-aggressive behaviors. So, normal hormonal teenager thing. His son is guilty of being a teenager. Oh, here's a reason this is taking up an entire stream, Char. It was his birthday yesterday, and he was going to go out with his friends this weekend to celebrate by paintballing. However, when I got home from work yesterday, I noticed that he had failed to do some chores I had set him, and then did the whole headphones routine when I started telling him off for it. This started around when the whole PlayStation 5 came out and, like, wait lists and stuff like that had to be coming around. Last post was in, like, December 2021, so this is, like, goddamn, not even a full month later when he pulls this shit. I got so sick of his attitude that I threatened to ground him for 2 weeks, which means not letting him leave the house except for work. My words clearly cut through his headphones and dawned on him that he would not be allowed to go paintballing this weekend. So he took off his headphones and said, "Go fuck yourself." And then shut himself in his room. This actually led to his actual grounding. The grounding didn't seem to faze him, as he spends a lot of time in his room anyway. I cut off his devices from our home Wi-Fi, but he works around this by having his own hotspot. Yes, because he pays for his own shit. He refused to come out for dinner last night when my wife asked him to, and he basically barricaded himself in his room. At 10 p.m. last night, he ordered himself a meal via delivery app. Again, he has clearly been passive-aggressive here, flaunting his independence as he has a perfectly lovely meal in the fridge made by my wife. I was still up watching TV, so intercepted the delivery and ate the meal myself. At some point, my son must have come out and seen me, but retreated back to his room without saying anything. Yeah, very hard to control a child when you're independent, and I think there is a lot of parents out there who would be happy their teenagers got some early independence. Yeah, and those also might be signs of depression as well. Remember, kid has lost his mom recently to cancer and is stuck living with his dad, who has made it clear does not love him and does not want him really there. And had never planned in his life to ever be part of it. So, of course, the kid might be having some signs of depression and issues going on. And also, complaining about passive-aggressive. Motherfucker, you stole your son's food to get back at him for being independent and being a teenager who's having issues. Did the man feel proud of himself after doing that shit? Sure, you can't choose your biological parents, but you can definitely choose the parents who actually love you. Again, did this man feel good about himself after stealing food? Yeah, theft. Essentially theft. My wife thinks I'm a major asshole for eating the meal, but I think it comes part and parcel with the grounding. My wife also thinks I'm too harsh with the grounding. I'll let him go paintball if he apologizes. So am I the asshole here, Reddit? What do you think? Now, here's the thing. Reddit recognizes this man in his username. How do you think they fucking reacted when they saw this man dared to post again? I like to imagine it's like this man opened the door to a Dark Souls boss that had previously kicked his ass. I wish, too, there was a version of this that had the comments for you to see, of like some of the top-rated comments and some of his replies. Unfortunately, that post got deleted and redacted. I wish I could find another one, but these are the ones that I've got. But I remember seeing those comments. Oh, Reddit. It's like, hey, motherfucker, this you? Oh, they shredded him to pieces, and he still didn't understand why. Anyway, the Sun posted this comment in reply. Hi, everyone. Sorry for hijacking the top comment. This is my dad's post. Thanks for everyone's support. I don't think I need to add any more fuel to the fire here. The posts in the comments largely speak for themselves. I just want to give a quick update to everyone that I'm 100% fine and okay. Kid, you are not fine and okay. You're living with this man. My stepmom vetoed my punishment, so I'm all good to go out with my friends this weekend. One of my new uncles has asked me to stay with them for a while, which is also super cool. Good. Responsible adult, getting him away from there. Thank you. So I'm doing well at living life. These comments are hilarious. Much love. Yeah, that man got put... Exactly, Shara. The man got put through every Final Destination movie, every Saw movie, and every Terrifier movie from Reddit, and doesn't quite get where he's fucked up. He don't get it. Now, did you think he was done posting to Reddit even after the absolute ass beating he keeps getting each time he posts? Do you think he's done? Do you think he's learned? Do you think the light bulb has gone off? Of course not. Of course it didn't. It sure as fuck didn't. No. But he's moved on from posting about his son, at least. Instead, he's going to start posting about his wife. No, this does not seem like blissful ignorance. This just seems like, you know, natural selection needs to do its goddamn job real quick. Am I the asshole for buying my wife a new dress? Posted on February 2nd, 2022. My M34 wife, F29, and I regularly attend formal functions once every 2 to 3 weeks. I work as a consultant, and these events are a great way to attract new business and for network. My wife generally dislikes these things, but she puts on a good front for me. It's generally a good night involving lots of food, alcohol, and socializing while our kids are looked after by a sitter. Yeah, that's really what he's doing. Due to the pandemic, we haven't had any for about 2 years. But they're now starting to come back. On a function 2 weeks ago, my wife came downstairs dressed in a pantsuit and her hair in a simple ponytail. Don't get me wrong, she still looked amazing, but pretty much all the other ladies wear ball gowns or cocktail attire. When we talked about it afterwards, she told me that she was sick of the hours of hair, makeup, nails, and preparation, and that if I insisted she go, she will dress how she pleases. Good for her. Good for her. She doesn't enjoy these functions. At least let her be comfortable if she's having to go to these functions she's not enjoying. She's going there to support her husband, but it should also be important for her also to be dressing comfortably. If she's finally had enough of the hours of work into looking like the other women at the function, let her be tired of that. She's still going with you. She's still going there to support you. I tried to explain that these things aren't necessarily part of my industry, but she wouldn't budge. Fix that clock being off via power outage, damn! She counters that she never drags me to any of her work functions, which I responded that we should compare pay slips, which was clearly the wrong thing to say, and she left the room. So man heard her say, like, hey. Yeah, basically, Phoenix, that's what he said. You won't spend 3 hours getting ready for a thing I care so much about that I take 10 minutes to get ready for? And when she tells him, hey, I don't force you to come to any of my functions. I don't ask you to come to any of mine. I don't make you go. And his response was essentially, well, I make more money. Yeah, this man needs a good fucking slap in the face. He's gonna get it, don't worry. Don't worry. After the argument, I tried to make it up to her, so I ordered a very nice and expensive gown for her to wear for the next function. I even took it to our tailors for adjustments, and they know her measurements. When I presented the dress to her, she was initially very happy and said the dress was gorgeous, but as soon as I mentioned that she should wear it for our next function, she immediately blew up at me. Yeah, of course, because you once again missed the point she was making. Yeah, man, yeah. Hey, free castration for assholes like this. Perfect. Of course she got pissed at him. She thinks I'm being manipulative and going against her wishes. I thought I was just offering her a nice gesture. Am I the asshole? What do you fucking think? You just came back, we're getting food. I was gonna ask what I missed. I don't think I want to know. No, you don't. Don't worry, Karma's getting ready to slap this man in the face. And once again, Reddit, I remember reading the comments, Reddit once again tore this man apart, pointing out that yes, you were being a manipulative asshole. You didn't get the dress as an apology, you got it as because you want to treat her like a dress-up doll. I do that too. True, I do that too for questions that aren't this. Alright. Now, the wife made it clear. She doesn't enjoy these work functions that he has her go to. She doesn't enjoy the hours of getting ready with hair, makeup, nails, and the dresses that before the pandemic came around that she essentially had to wear. She was mainly going just to support her husband. That's it. Functions start happening again. She decided, all right, you know what? I'm going to still go to support my husband, but I'm going to go do this in a way that I feel comfortable. Exactly. He's just treating her as a pretty face. She's just there to be arm candy on it next to him. And his reasoning for that is, well, I make more money. Especially in response to her pointing out that she never makes him go to any of her similar functions for her job. So, of course, Reddit ripped him apart. Now, here's where the implosion finally starts. Oh, Phoenix. You're gonna love this, then. Update as posted by Dad in the post. As a comment on the post. I'm sure many of you would be ecstatic to know that my marriage may be over. I came home this evening to find that my wife and my 2 younger boys have left, probably at her mother's house. My oldest is still staying at my brother's house since beginning of January. Good. Jonah got the fuck out of there. Yeah, good thing you did cut her off, Char. Good thing you did. This has hit me hard. As Redditors now like to remind me on a daily basis, I now know I have been a shitty husband and father. I have some self-reflection to do. I am stubborn, but my wife has always been there to talk me down. I guess she's had enough. The only communication I have is a text from my wife saying she wants a divorce and that her lawyers will get in touch regarding separation arrangements. I have tried calling, but it keeps going to voicemail, same as my in-laws. I want to apologize. I want to offer to go to counseling or therapy like she asked. She fucking asked for marriage counseling and therapy beforehand. His answer was no, most likely. Until now, when it's too fucking late. If I still can't get through to her via phone, I'm thinking of going to my in-laws' house. Please don't do that. I have to try and at least talk to her. I guess my Redditors hate me. Yes. But I welcome any suggestions on if there's anything I could try. Now, I would like to point out that a reply to one of these comments that I saw. You want to know what my favorite reply to this was? We love a happy ending! Yeah, they are your Redditors, especially again, the guy going, we love a happy ending. That man. We snip off balls. Yes, we do. And not in the free bottom surgery way. Remember, I said this was the start of the implosion. Since Am I the Asshole wasn't in this camp, Dad continued to post but in other subs. We forbid this from ever happening again via forced neutering. So again, he left Am I the Asshole, but went and posted other subs. The problem is that that word about this guy had spread. People from Am I the Asshole also participate in other subreddits. And know this guy. And also, he's still a jackass at each and every single one of them. My wife wants to divorce me and won't talk to me. How can I win her back? Posted on February 7th, 2022. How about you leave her alone? Let me take a drink before I continue on. My wife, F29, and I, M34, of 8 years, have been having serious relationship issues over the last few years. Exactly, Shar, exactly. The main area of friction between us is that I have a son, M16, from a previous teenage fling that I never told her about. We also have 2 other young children together. My 16-year-old had to come live with us about 3 years ago because his biological mother died. His presence in our lives caused a lot of tension between my wife and I because she felt I majorly breached her trust. You did. You fucking did. We argued more and more about minor things till last Thursday. I came home to an empty house. I'm devastated. My wife is the love of my life and has always been the main support center in my life. Not now, kitty. Do not bust open door. I tried calling her, but she kept sending me the mail. She sent a text saying that she wasn't ready to talk, but was filing for a divorce and to wait to hear from her lawyers regarding separation mediation. I am a wreck. I would do anything to have her back, including counseling and therapy. She previously asked me to attend, but I was too arrogant to take it up. I felt that if I could just talk to her, I could have a chance to explain and we could get through this. The next day, I did something stupid. You haven't been doing stupid shit before. I went to her workplace, accounting firm, with her favorite takeaway lunch to try to talk to her. She must have worded up the reception staff because they adamantly refused to buzz me into the office. Her staff even went as far as calling for building security. Not wishing to cause further drama, I left voluntarily. There are villains, and then there's you, yes! My guy, you fucked up enough. I can't even call you my sibling and cringe. You've been rejected by the siblings and cringe. And there goes my door. Back. Hi, babies. Hi, kitties. I gotta get up and close this now. Hold on. At least it'll give y'all a bit of a chance to process what's happening. Oof. Hi, Ghosty. You two behave if you're in here. I feel like Jack Horner was better than this man because at least he knew what he was doing was awful. Yes! How have you made Jack Horner more redeemable than you, buddy? That night, I doubled down on my stupidity. You worked before! I tried to visit her at her parents' house with a bunch of gifts for her and the kids. My mother-in-law answered through intercom, but wouldn't let me in. I was so frustrated and emotional that I broke down at their door, basically making a scene and refusing to leave. Later, my brother turned up. I assume my wife called and tried to convince me to go home, but we ended up in a shouting match. He eventually tried to manhandle me back to my car, so I got into a physical altercation with him, but I left when my father-in-law came out and threatened to call the police on me. So he showed up at his wife's work, when she had made it clear that, no, I've got no intentions of staying with you. We're going through with the divorce. I want you to leave me alone. Showed up at her work. When that didn't work, and and the building had to actually call security to get this man to leave, he decided to then instead go to his in-laws' house where his wife was staying with the two kids. Thankfully, the eldest is nowhere near this shit. With a whole bunch of gifts and stuff to try and, I guess, buy them back. And then But he just wouldn't leave. They called up his brother to hopefully get him. He decided to get into an actual physical fight with his father and only left when his soon-to-be ex-father-in-law threatened to call the cops. Cats! Play nice. Yeah, you're not tumbling down anymore, you're at the quintuple level of downing. Things have really gone downhill since then. They weren't already! The avalanche has started with that snowball labeled, "My son sold his PS5. Reminded me of the Dragon Portal guy putting his cat to the camera. This morning, 2 police constables turned up to where I work with a provisional domestic violence order along with a summons to attend court for a permanent order. I mean, what did you expect? You started physically trying to fight somebody to try and manipulate your wife into getting back with you. What did you expect, buddy? These are the consequences of your actions. I was in shock and as a result was inadvertently quite rude to the constables. This put them offside. I am a contractor working at a client site. So when my client asked the constables what the matter was about, they said they couldn't say for privacy reasons, but then immediately handed out business cards with their Family Violence Liaison Unit title embossed at the top. So now my firm's senior partner has waved me off going back to the client site and I may be fired. Good. Yes, you've lost a lot, but don't worry, the avalanche has started from that snowball labeled "Son selling his PS5. The implosion has begun. His wife's divorcing him and he's about to lose his job. No, it shouldn't do the funny! Oh, hopefully not too many shocks. You really thought you could win over people who probably have psychology degrees and better idea of emotions than him? Probably! I feel like this is the wake-up call I needed. I know I've been a narcissistic a-hole and I'm ready to change. What can I do to talk to her? To show her I am determined to be better. I don't want to just end it like this. I know that if I have a chance to explain myself, to apologize, to promise to work really hard on my marriage, to work on my narcissism, to go to therapy, to go to counseling, whatever my wife needs to give me, and we can get on with our lives. Yeah, he needed to wake up last year! Our court hearing is in a few weeks, so I'm thinking of turning up early with some expensive jewelry and try to talk to my wife before the hearing. My solicitor has told me this is a bad idea. Yeah, you listen to your solicitor, buddy. Yeah, she ain't forgiving you, buddy. But I feel like I need to do something. I don't want to negotiate with my wife across the courtroom. I just want to remind her how much I love her and how much she means to me. What can I do to win my wife back? Has anyone else been in this situation? Shalom didn't read. My wife has left me and won't talk to me. I caused a scene on her work and now there's a potential legal action against me. I want to win her back. Now, not only did Reddit recognize this guy, the advice they mainly gave was, leave her alone. Leave her alone. You had your chance to fix shit. You passed it up. Now leave her alone. And he may have seemed to somewhat listen this time. Update. I get it. It's over. You guys are right. I fucked up. Irrevocably this time. I've lost my family and likely will lose my job. I've always tried to control everything in my life. It's worked for me in the past because my family is wealthy and they fixed things for me. Oh, god damn, I almost wish I could send that one to him, Char. But my wife and brother must have spoken to my parents because they said I can't use the law firm my family has on retainer for my DVO or upcoming separation proceedings anymore. I'll hire my own solicitor as soon as stuff starts opening. I'll seek mental help, too. Most importantly, I'll leave my wife alone. Thanks for your comments and advice. Good! Leave her alone! Please, leave her alone! But we ain't done, folks! We ain't done. I still got 2 other full-on tabs to open up here. And we're not even fully done with this one. The son then comes back with an update from his stepmom and a comment on his dad's last post. Hi everyone, a lot has happened over the last few months. Yeah, this is the start of the avalanche. There's more. We get to really watch this man keep digging his hole. My stepmom has been reading all of these posts and comments. She saw that he's now saying that he will change and hoping to gain some sympathy of it. She emailed me this today to pass on to people so they can decide if he deserves any. I haven't edited it anyway, just copy and pasted it. Hi everyone, I'm not a Reddit user, but I have been following the messages that my stepson and my soon-to-be ex has written. I would also like to thank the hundreds of kind people who immediately saw through his bullshit and gave him some hard truths. I'm also grateful for all the well-wishers to me, my sons, and Jonah. Apart from the few incidents last week, which isn't the complete picture by the way, he has stopped trying to contact me directly. But I'm hearing from mutual friends that he's now on a mission to garner sympathy, trying to lay blame for his life falling apart everywhere except for himself. I know that he's throwing a pity party for himself on Reddit too, hoping to get people to congratulate him on how much he has changed! I want to set the record that this man deserves no sympathy. I have been with him for 8 years. Yes, I realize that I am a naive idiot, and I take my part of the blame for not only sticking around, but for having 2, now 3, incredible, light of my life, adorable children with this man. I will lay out the autopsy of my marriage and let people judge for themselves. I met him when I was 21, a broke uni student trying to make it on my own. I met him while working at my part-time job. I was taken in by his looks, his wealth, and his confidence. We got married within 3 months. I was stupid and vain, tricking myself into thinking he was the prince to whisk me off to a better life. After our wedding, the manipulation started. He wanted to convince me not to continue my studies. You don't need to, babe. I'll look after you. You just look pretty and look after my house. After the birth of our first child, I took 12 weeks off for maternity leave. He's the prince of the landfill! Exactly. I was pretty established in my job then. He, again, tried to convince me to be a stay-at-home mom. He tried to gaslight me, saying that it's not fair on your son and that his fondest memories as a child was with his mom at home. Not fair on his son, not fair on the child, huh? To have a parent not there, huh? Yeah, she admits that she's naive. She admits, like, hey, I did a stupid thing when I was younger. I should not have done it. Look at that! She acknowledges when she fucks up, unlike her husband. God damn, ow. I will do my best. If you want me to, I will do my best to get along with your dad. If not, oh boy. I know how to at least be civil in polite company. Throughout the marriage, he would constantly use his wealth as leverage. My dad, bless him, is a good tradie but terrible businessman. Early on, my ex arranged a loan through his family trust to rescue my dad's business. My ex would then gently remind me of that fact every time we disagreed about something. He would constantly monitor my credit card usage. He would question me on certain transactions that weren't to his liking. Example, fashion, gym, hair, Botox, makeup, completely fine. By a latte and a muffin? Who the hell did you have a coffee with? He would constantly provide input on my appearance. As an example, he would show me pictures of celebrities and tell me that it would be nice if I dressed and did my makeup more like that celebrity. He would also make offhand comments about what I ate. Are you sure you want to order that in the main size? Did you have a sugary drink already at lunch? Or my personal pet hate, I think my wife will have the salad tonight. At the industry awards or charity things we went to, he would tell me who I should talk to. I can't tell you how many inane, vapid conversations I've had with other spouses about the latest bags or some other bullshit winter collection. I once made a joke about him in front of some of his colleagues, and he scolded me like a child on the car ride home. You all know about him hiding Jonah's Goddamn Char, exactly! This is why we are happy this man's life is imploding. And I need to close my door again. Shit. Why do you cats always open it? Oh, ghost left. And now just me in here. Alright, take a sip of my drink and then continue. Even the fucking weather storm! You all know about him hiding Jonah's existence from me. What you may not know is that he lied about Jonah's mom and made her out to be a gold digger who tricked him into having a kid. This is why my initial reception of Jonah was definitely not warm, and I am ashamed for it. He's a really decent and sweet boy and is so kind and patient with my two boys. He deserves better than his dad. I can go on for pages and pages. The list doesn't even begin to describe the level of narcissism, manipulation, and control he had over me for the last 8 years. I know I am equally to blame for this, but I'm done with it now. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't confident enough. I didn't want to say no to a man who gave me everything. Even now, at weak moments, I feel myself start to miss him and wonder if I should just endure it. That maybe he'll change just enough that I may be able to live with it. But then his recent fake pity party bullshit snapped me right out of it. I want his money. I don't want him. I just want my kids and I to live our lives free of him. Thank you for reading. And Jonah also added that where he's his own living situation, I'm living with my uncle and cousins at the moment. My dad has texted / called me a few times, but only as a way to talk to my stepmom. So yeah, he's going back to being a deadbeat towards Jonah. No surprise there. Yeah, no, that woman went through absolute hell, and again, we're still not done. Golden experience for Requiem, yes. Get Giorno in here. Where is he? Get him in here. Get Giorno Giovanna in here. Get the 7-page Muda going. Anyway, next tab. This is another, of course, another poster. Yeah, what do you mean we're not done? We're not done. It still keeps going. Don't worry, though, these next 2 tabs are not as long as the first one. Now, are we ready for this man to continue throwing himself a pity party? I had it all. I had everything. A beautiful wife, gorgeous kids, an awesome house in the suburb, a well-paying job, and a bright future. It all came crumbling down last week. My wife left with the kids while I was at work. He makes it seem like Diavolo didn't deserve it. No, Diavolo did deserve what he got. This man needs the Diavolo treatment, though. Throw out the... Hello, I'm part of the entire ass man disposal service. Yes, the entire man. Sure, we argued about little things. They were not little things. Like any other couple, but I had no idea she would hit the exit button so suddenly. I'm a good provider. I have nice shiny things, and we were, I thought, a great couple. Buddy, no. Sometimes these things just start to joy. Now I'm sitting alone in a house filled with nothing but memories and silence. The most painful part is that I feel like I could get my life back on track with a gentle nudge. Fortunately, my life won't give me a chance to talk one-on-one. Next time I see her, I will likely be on the other side of a conference room with lawyers. Yeah, materials don't accumulate to love. They just don't. Maybe I've changed. Maybe we've both changed. All I know is that I still love her and it hurts every day. I just want my life back. Yeah, Reddit didn't listen to this motherfucker. They didn't. They did not take this man seriously. They remembered his posts. Like, hey, aren't you the jackass who did this? Again, like I said, these ones aren't it, but the avalanche is fully in motion. Exactly, Char, exactly. But we're almost at the end of the avalanche. 35 now one of his latest posts before he I guess got chased off Reddit finally. That's why making elevator too far. Oh, you want to know what he did? Hold on, I will tell you what he did after this post. I, 35M, have recently separated, divorced, not finalized, from my wife, 31F. We have 2 primary school-aged boys together, which I have custody of 1 week and a fortnight, Friday to Monday morning. So he sees his 2 youngest children every 2 weeks, and doesn't see his oldest at all. Gone back to being a deadbeat towards Jonah, which, no surprise there. I work very long hours, and every week my team goes out for dinner/drinks on Friday night. It's important team bonding, and I feel these sessions are a critical part of my job. My girlfriend Jane, 25 female, I would like y'all to take a moment to recognize this 10-year age difference and put it in your back pocket. Is a primary school teacher from a different school to my boys. I recently filled out a form with my boys' school to designate Jane as a guardian for purposes of picking up and dropping off my boys at school. I commute the other way to my work on Mondays, whereas Jane works at a school near our boys' school. With the current custody arrangements, it's only 1 pickup and 1 drop-off a fortnight, if Jane was to do it. Unbeknownst to me, the school sent the form to my ex-wife for her signature. Of course they did, because she's the other parent. It's their job to make sure that if there are 2 parents involved with the kids at school, make sure that everyone knows what's going on. My ex is now super mad at me. From my perspective, Jane is a perfectly acceptable person to look after her boys, as she is my girlfriend, a qualified educator, and the boys get along well with her. I have a feeling that's not the problem here. She only has to pick them up and drop them off, and maybe look after them for less than 2 hours without my presence. My ex says I'm an asshole and saying I'm trying to shirk my responsibilities. I don't think that's fair. My ex is going through her lawyer's sickly right to me, saying they prohibit this. I think she's overreacting because she's jealous. Am I the asshole here? Yes. And I love what the person who posted this to Best of Redditor Updates said. OP is a grade A douche nozzle that will continue to destroy their life without realizing it, and I can't help but laugh at point while saying you deserve it. But you want to know what this guy did, Char? With this post in particular? He had deleted his previous posts where he was Reddit was tearing him to shreds. But he didn't change the username. That username was plastered all over Best of Redditor Updates and was shared around. So people recognized him. They knew. And he was baffled how people knew who he was. Reddit never forgets, sir. Reddit never fucking forgets. And of course, last part here, the avalanche is about to hit a wall. With this very last post right here. Because after this, I think this man learned his lesson and stopped posting on Reddit. Yeah, they'll always be there permanently. Always. Now, this is from, like, July 13th, 2022. This is the last post we've got for anything with this. My, 31M, wife, 27, and I have been separated for about 6 months, not divorced. If you notice, he tried to change the ages, but he did not change the username still. So people still recognized who the hell he was. He tried doing that, but once again didn't think to change the fucking username. But not divorced. We were together for 10 years. We have 2 primary school-aged boys. She has more custody than I do at the moment because of my work schedule, but my aim is work towards joint custody. We came to an agreement to split the school holidays between us. I the first week and her the second. I had such a blast with the boys during my week, playing games and watching movies with them at my new apartment. Just before my wife's week commenced, I asked if we could all do a few things together, go watch a movie, having a meal together, etc. It would be nice for the boys to see their parents get along after all. No. No, it would not. To my shock, my wife said that she had already booked a holiday for the boys, and I would have no access to them for the entire week. Fortunately, my eldest boy told me that my wife had organized a cruise for them. Oh, he remembers his eldest son! He remembers his eldest son exists! To make things worse, it was this cruise that my wife and I talked about taking us when we were talking about when we were together. Whew. I was admittedly very hurt that my wife would take my dream family holiday without me. I have a feeling she would rather go with anybody but you. Apart from my personal feelings, I was mainly concerned about the safety of taking 2 boys by herself. No, the fuck you ain't. That's just what you're telling yourself. No, the fuck you ain't. A lot can happen on a cruise ship. I didn't know she was going to be alone or with a boyfriend or a group. Oh, hi, Angel. Yep, taking another drink. So my main goal is to ensure the safety of my boys. No, it ain't. The fuck it ain't after reading all this shit. No, the fuck it ain't. I took time off work and also booked a cabin on that same ship. Luckily, there were plenty of vacancies. I don't want to be intrusive with my wife's time with the boys, but I thought it was a sweet gesture that at least I can look after the boys while she gets a massage or wants some time alone. No, it ain't. I even got a VIP cabin suite so the boys could have room to sleep over. When I surprised her on the ship, she went apeshit ballistic at me. In fact, she screeched so loud the security had to intervene, and we were all interviewed separately by the head of security. The security seemed to immediately take my wife's side, White Knight, and told me to stay away from my family. But I mean, it's a ship? I've just been hanging in my room for the last few days, but I'm not sure the direction from security is enforceable. Obviously, my wife has once again misinterpreted my nice gesture. It was not a nice gesture, and you know it. I didn't go on the cruise to interrupt her trip, merely to make life easier for her to enjoy herself while spending time with the boys. Any advice from me? 1. The point of the trip was for her to spend time with the boys. 2. You did not go on there to spend time with your children. You went there to torment your ex-wife. Now, sadly, that was the last post from this man. As much as I would love to watch him continue to dig himself a hole. Because he at least seemed to finally learn his lesson about not bringing this shit to Reddit, because no one's gonna fucking agree with him. But I would like to remember all of this snowballed out of control due to one kid, one teenage boy who did not ask to put up with any of this bullshit. Selling his PS5. That's the PS5, Dad, Saga. That is what we got. We have not heard from this man since. We haven't really heard any terrible news from Jonah or from his stepmom.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets.
Thank you, Dracula. Get his ass. Please, get him. Just get his ass, man. Just get him. A miserable pile of bad decisions, apparently. Terrible decisions, just terrible decision, one right after the other. And all of it starting off with the son he tried to abandon selling his PS5. The PS5, by the way, the son had paid for himself. This saga had everything. Just, whoo! Well, I'm gonna have to get my throat a break after that owl. Why they gotta mow lawns? Why do mowed lawns have to kick up pollen and shit? Hi, Cheesebird. Hi, Borb. You dealt with all this too, huh, buddy? You went through this with us. I'm sorry, little guy, that you got summoned to suffer with us. Borb just chilling. Borb is contemplating man-made horrors beyond mortal comprehension right now. But anyway, for those who did tune in, I do hope you enjoyed. I'll be back again tomorrow afternoon for another Identity 5 stream. I do hope to see y'all there if you can make it. You know the usual socials. Linktree link should be down below. Hold on, I want to double check a little something here. Yeah, you hide, so you don't actually pick up something you shouldn't. Those either have no thinking or all the thinking. I think this one's got all the thinking. I'd like to check something real quick. Ah! Yep, still live. Alright. Since this one's a little bit shorter than like usual, so that way I'm not leaving y'all completely bored. Alright. I am going to throw you guys at a fellow Identity 5 streamer and player here, Miss Mary Mac. Mad Eyes Main, that was honestly a hell of a lot of fun to play with. I'm gonna throw y'all at them real quick. You have fun, be nice, obey any and all channel rules you get. Alright, but as always, my name is Dragon, and bye-bye.